last video, we created a user interface that showed the score. In this video, we are going to create a game manager. So let's go ahead and start off by creating an empty game object called the game manager. And in this case, we want to be really careful with spelling game manager, capital G, capital M, G-A-M-E-M-A-N-A-G-E-R, because we are going to write a script that's going to ask to go and find this game object later. Let's go ahead, went ahead and did some pre-work earlier, forgot to delete that. We're going to recreate that in a second. Let's go ahead and get into our script graph and create a visual scripting script graph, and we're going to call it the same thing, the game manager. Okay, let's go ahead and add a script machine onto the game manager object, and let's add the graph onto here, and we can go ahead and title it the game manager, and let's edit that graph. Okay, there's not going to be a whole lot to this one. We are going to create some object variables just like we have been. This one is going to have a variable called score, and that score is going to be an integer, and the value of that is going to be 0. And then let's go ahead and add another one that is the score display. And the score display is a TextMesh Pro object, and what we're looking for is the TextMesh Pro UGY. That's the one that we were using earlier, and the value is the score display that we created in the last video right there. Okay, so at this point, that's pretty much it. The game manager is meant mostly to hold on to these objects. Now the trick here is that we're going to add in subgraphs that are going to interact with this game manager to change the score and to change the score display. So what I'm going to do here is let's organize this, and I'm going to make a folder for the game manager, and I'm going to drag this into here because I'm going to make a few more script graphs that are going to apply to the game manager. Let's go ahead and make a new, sorry, my brain just went blank for a second. We're making a script graph, and we're going to call this update score display. Okay, this is going to update the score display. And for this one, we're going to make a graph variable. This graph variable is only going to exist on this graph. It's not going to exist on a game object, but this is going to be the game manager object. Let's go ahead and add that, and this is a game object. And the value, we don't have a value yet. We have to go find it. And that's going to be the first thing that we do here. Okay, so let's go ahead and say input. There's our input right there, and this is just a blank box that doesn't have anything going in and out. Right here we have a trigger input that we could add, so I'm actually going to delete that real quick. Let's add a trigger input, and we're going to call that update display. There we go. And then if I scroll down a little bit, and actually I'm going to drag the blackboard down a little bit, I'm going to have a trigger output, and I'm just going to call that exit. That way I can do something after this is done. Okay, so now I'm going to do the input in nesting. It's this little one with the green arrow. And there, I've got the update display. And before I go any further, let's add an output. And that's going to let me exit this. Alright, so if I input, I'm going to go to the update display. the first thing I need to do is find the game object. So let's go ahead and add a node, and I'm going to do game object dot find. Okay, this is going to let me find a specific game object, so let's go ahead and connect that. And the game object I'm looking for is the game manager, and what this is going to do is going to look in the hierarchy for something that looks exactly like this. So this is where spelling becomes really important. Okay, once I have that, I'm going to say this game manager here, this is my graph game manager, is the game manager that I found. So let's go ahead and if I drag this out here, I can say get that, but I don't want to get it, I want to set it. So if I hold down Alt while I drag this in, I can set it. Okay. We're going to set that game manager to the game manager that we just found. Okay, and so now what we want to do is update the visuals. So let's go ahead and we'll want to go ahead and get the variables from the game manager so we can adjust them. So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and get this game manager. I'm going to drop it right here. Here's my game manager game object, and I need to get the object variables from there. Object variables. I'm going to get the object variables. I need 2 of them, so I'm going to duplicate this. And I need the score variable, and I need the score display variable. I'm going to say get it from that game object. Okay, so now I have my 2 variables there, and so now I need to set up my my score text. I'm going to go ahead and say let's add a node here, and we're going to look into the text mesh pro UGUI. Text mesh pro UGUI dot text. Set text. There we go. I am going to set which text are we doing? We're doing this text. Okay, so now we're using the score display here, and then what do we want this to be? I want it to say the word score, and then whatever the actual score is. So I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna use the concatenate. I'm gonna concatenate 2 strings. Oh, so we will need to, I'm gonna give myself a little bit more room here. We're gonna go here and then here. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to say is score. So I'm just going to grab a string literal right here, and it is going to say score colon space. That is the first thing I wanted to say, and then the second thing I wanted to say is the actual score. We're going to plug that in right there, and then once we're done with that, we're done. Okay, so that seems like it was a bit much, but it's actually not the most complicated graph. Now what this is going to do is it's going to update the display. So let me go ahead and back out of here, and let's go back into the game manager. And I'm just going to put in update display test. Okay, so what I'll try here is just say if I press a button on the keyboard, on keyboard input, let's say when I press fastest way to get there. When I press the E key, let's try updating the display. So I'm going to add update display, update score display right there. So you see I've got a subgraph here, and there's the input and there's the output that we did earlier. I'm just going to attach this right here. Okay, so now that should update the display. Let's go over here to the game manager, and I'm going to say that right now the score is 1000. So when I press the E key, it should update the display. Here we go. We have a score of 0. I'm going to tap the E key. Boom. There we go. We have 1000 points now. Okay, so that is not exactly how I want my game to work. So let's go ahead and give me a way to add some score. So in the same way, let's go ahead and create a new, nope, not a mono behavior script. That's silly. We're going to delete that. We're going to create another script graph. And I'm going to call this one add score. Okay, let's go ahead and open that up, and we can add a title. This is add score. And for the trigger input, again, we'll put add score. And then for the output, we've got the trigger output. Let's go ahead and add one of those, and we'll just call this exit, just like we did last time. The difference here is we're going to add a data input this time. I'm going to say this is points to add. And the type right here is an integer. Right here in the graph, we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. Let's go ahead and put in a game manager. The type is a game object. And then, yeah, we'll just do that right there. We can't access that. We're going to need to find it. All right. I think we're good to get going. Let's go ahead and do an input just like last time. And wait a minute. Oh, this didn't save. Hang on. Delete. Data inputs. Points to add. And that's of type integer. Okay. Let's try that again. Input. Okay, so there I have the score, and I've got a little node for points to add, and then let's go ahead and add a node for output. And there we go. Now I can create my subgraph right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and say, as soon as we come in, we're going to do GameObject.find. Okay, we're going to go find an object called the Game Manager. And then we are going to set this, holding down Alt and dragging this over. We are going to set the Game Manager to the Game Manager that I just found. Okay, so, just like last time, we need to go and we're going to get the game manager, and we're going to get an object variable from it. This time we need to get the score variable, not from this game object, but from the game manager object. Okay, so now that we have the score variable, what I want to do is add to it this number of points right here. So, I'm going to move these up just so things can be a little bit organized. So right here, let's go ahead and add a number to the score. So, set an object variable. Okay, so which object variable do we want to set? We want to set the score variable, not from this object, from the game manager object. We want to set that score to, we're going to add to it, add. Okay, we can add two together. We're going to add the score to the number of points to add, and that sum right there is going to be what we set it to. And then we'll connect that here. Once we add it, let's go ahead and update it. So let's get the update score display, because anytime we add score, we should update this. There we go. Okay, so that should allow us now to add points. Let's go back to our game manager, and I'm going to update the score test. I'm just going to change this real quick. I'm going to delete the update score display because I don't need that anymore. I'm not testing that anymore. And let's do the add score. Okay, and now in order to use add score, I need to tell it how many points to add. So let's get the integer literal. Integer literal. It's literally a number. And I'm going to say let's add 10 points every time I press the E key. Alright, let's go ahead and push play, see how that works. Okay, I'm here in my game. Everything's looking alright, and then let me press the E key. There's 10 points. Let's do it a couple more times. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Every time I press the E key, it's going up by 60 points. Okay, in the next video, we'll go over how to